Hello, so my name's Michael Conneely and this video is all about October astrology, which essentially is about coming into our needed personal revolution and proper power. So this is my key summary of October 2024 astrology energies. And I must apologise for being a bit croaky. There's a sort of croaky chesty cough going all around Ireland and I gather in the UK as well. So basically, to see the astrology charts and the ephemeris for October astrology in both Western and also Vedic astrology, please go to the October month page on my Star Wheel Astrology website. Now, the central energy in October is actually the need to identify and foster your key area of personal revolution, whether this is obviously visible to you or maybe somewhat hidden. I say this because Uranus and Jupiter in Vedic Taurus are pressing you to consolidate and grow now your needed project for personal revolution. So let's look at that central topic a bit more first. This energy all started when transiting Mars, the planet of action, hit Uranus, the planet of revolution, at 2 degrees Taurus on the 14th of July, conjunct the most terrible fixed star energy, Algol. Algol is terrible, yes, but we humans can grow from the terrible, the difficult. That's the essence of Tantra teaching. Now this took on a more spiritual and enlarging focus when Mars then moved forward and hit Jupiter, also in Taurus. Jupiter, the planet of divine connection, blessing and enlargement. Mars came to Jupiter on the 14th of August, with Jupiter conjunct fixed stars Bellatrix and Capella. Now note that Jupiter in Taurus also includes wealth. So this time, which is still running, is such a good time for doing wealth increase work. Do it twice a day if you're drawn to that. But it's not just the 3 planets' energies that you need to encompass, Uranus, Jupiter, and Mars. We also need to bring in awareness of the energies of the sign of Taurus, Vedic Taurus, as they manifest in our life. What house or area of life is Vedic Taurus in your birth chart? And remember that Taurus especially also aspects Scorpio opposite. They especially affect each other, obviously. And each of us, we all need to attune better to Venus energies. That's because Venus rules Taurus. Venus is about love, money and beauty and so on. So, for example, if Taurus is your 11th house, well, you need to bring in revolution about making gains in your life, wealth. But if Taurus is your first house, then you need to bring in revolution and expansion to the way you express and assert in the world. And if Taurus is your second house, then you need to bring in revolution in your value issues and your voice, and so on through the houses. So at this time, you absolutely do need to identify what method to use to magically bring in revolution in your personal Taurus issues. Whether those be wealth and gains or self-expression, etc. In what area of your life do you need revolution at this time? And you need to do the magical or visionary work consistently, day by day, probably twice a day, and perfect it as your revolution current takes more and more shape and better shape, and your awareness of your issues that need revolution gets deeper and bigger. Now do be aware that Jupiter turns retrograde on the 9th of October this month at 27 Taurus. Now retrograde planet's energies is consolidation. This really does bring an opportunity for each of us to review how we are developing in our especially needed area of revolution. And look out for its creating insights of inner wisdom for each of us as this Jupiter retrograde time progresses. In fact, Jupiter's retrograde motion will magnify your opportunities in several sectors of your life. Look out for this blessing, enlargement, sense of purpose, connection to the divine. Use it as a help and insight for the present period when Saturn too is retrograde. I say this to help us each prepare better for the period after the 15th of November, next month, when Saturn will be going direct and the retrogradation period and the retrogradation opportunity will have ceased. I say this also to prepare better for the Mercury retrograde period that starts the 26th of November. And I say this also for the Mars retrograde and debilitation period from the 8th of December. So in other words, there's some messy astro energies to prepare for. And so we need focus, intention, implementation and will. So that's my covering of the first and probably main point, which is about finding and succeeding with the area of your personality and life that needs revolution. Okay, there's a second huge energy. Visionary developed path to power. The second major awareness you need to bring is that a very special talent triangle formed on the 1st of September, and actually unbelievably but true, lasts until June 2028. This is exceptional. It's major. So the talent triangle is formed, well, the base of it is Pluto trine Uranus. Wow. Power, growth and revolution. And the apex of that triangle is that both Pluto and Uranus are sextile Neptune, the apex planet, Neptune in Pisces. Wow. And this is being guided by your intuition and vision and sensitivity, Neptune qualities, to manifest your growth in power and revolution, Pluto Uranus. And as I said, this lasts amazingly in the heavens until June 2028. It's an exceptional situation where three planets all keep their relationship to each other as they transit forward over 4 years. We must connect to that and not just let it fritter away in the background. So where are they? Well, on the 1st of October, it's a case of Pluto at 5 Vedic Capricorn, trine Uranus at 2 Vedic Taurus, where Pluto and Uranus have each sextile Neptune at 4 Vedic Pisces. And fascinatingly note that Neptune is conjunct the most dreadful fixed star Shayat, the most terrible star energy. But as I said, we humans can grow from dealing with the terrible and the difficult. That's the essence of Tantra. Now that apex planet Neptune is retrograde from July the 7th to December the 7th. So that long period is actually such a time for us developing our intuitive skills, our visionary skills, our qualities of compassion, and our spiritual qualities, but also, of course, to work on any negative side of Neptune, any illusions we might have. And note that Neptune is actually exactly conjunct Shayat, the most awful star, 2nd of June, 1st of August, 22nd of March, 5th of November and 13th of January 26. Goodness. But the wisdom long established is that Neptune with Shayat does embrace and boost the occult. So don't block any pulls you might feel to work with occult approaches and awareness. Embrace that work into your life issues. Okay, let's go to the third major point. October starts amid 2 eclipses. The first was the end of September. The second is actually on the 2nd of October. So looking at the lunar eclipse of the 18th of September gone, well, that was Moon at 1 Pisces conjunct Neptune and Sun at 1 Vedic Virgo. But the second of those 2 eclipses is actually on October the 2nd. Sun and Moon at 15 Virgo, conjunct Lilith at 15 Virgo, conjunct Ketu South Node at 12 Virgo, conjunct Mercury at 17 Virgo. They're all of them in Hasta Nakshatra. And they're all square Mars at 21 Gemini. So see my separate video and blog all about the October the 2nd eclipse. And of course, looking further forward, also see my separate upcoming video and blog all about the second lunation in October, the October full moon in Aries in Ashwini Nakshatra, which is on October the 17th. Okay, major point number 4. Saturn is retrograde all October. We each of us need to maintain awareness that Saturn is retrograde all October. We each of us have to realise that Saturn retrograde is an unavoidable call to be responsible, to tie up unfinished matters. At the deeper level, to work to fulfill the particular karmas that we came into this life to work with because of our past life karmas that we ran up, good and bad. Incidentally, Saturn was originally an agricultural deity, and if you learn to perceive and fulfill his demands, you reap a harvest. I mentioned the issue of karmas here because please note I always combine Vedic astrology with Western astrology in all my readings and courses. It is a wonderful, extensive, illuminating offer. So see my Star Wheel Astrology website for my readings. See my Star Wheel Astrology website for my courses. And also you can go to my Druid Forest School website for my combination of shamanism with astrology readings. As I said, I combine the two, Vedic astrology and Western astrology, always. This is because Vedic astrology, using the sidereal zodiac, plus also using the wonderful 27-sign lunar zodiac of the nakshatras, is the statement of your incarnational life path direction in this life, of your fate and destiny in this life. As I said, it's all based on our past life karmas that we ran up. And when we die at the end of our last life, our higher self does a review of the karmas, good and bad, we've run up, and sets the collection of karmas to work with this life, and that's our birth chart. So obviously we totally need Vedic astrology, but we equally totally need Western astrology too. You see, Western astrology, using the tropical zodiac, which is based on the position of the sun at the day of vernal equinox, spring equinox, is the needed statement of our egoic personality, our psychological self, and the unfoldment of that for better or worse. So we need to know about our fate and destiny self. We need to know about our psychological self. It's just incomplete astrology if you don't combine the two. You need both astrologies. And that's why I include both Vedic and Western in all my readings, all my courses. Otherwise, however wonderful each is, we risk talking rubbish. An example of this, that my wonderful first tutor in Vedic astrology, to whom I owe so much, told me that Mars is your best planet because it's in Scorpio, the sign Mars rules. But that wonderful man, my first Vedic teacher, what he didn't know was that the insight from Western astrology is that I've got Mars conjunct Chiron. It's my existential wound, horrifically weakened. So you see the point. So since then, I have for years worked with, the Vedic Varga charts, the wonderful divisional charts of Vedic astrology as well, each of which says something so totally specific and wonderful about a specific area of our life. For example, and this is important, I found that my D2 divisional chart, which deals with value and speech issues as well as gender issues, actually only makes full, total and proper sense when you import Western Chiron and Lilith into it. We know, and I think I must be the only Vedic astrologer that knows how to do that. And indeed, when I was having my nodal return last year, the truth is that several wonderful people who had never met me before came out of nowhere from 3 different countries and offered me a past life reading. And those past life readings totally fitted into what was said by my D2 divisional chart when you imported into it Lilith and Chiron as well as the Vedic planets. And so because of that, and they said they were moved to do it, they didn't know why, I was healed so much by this development that took place. And of course it was my nodal return, past life issues arising. So, talking of karmas, Saturn turned retrograde on the 30th of June at 25 Vedic Aquarius. Saturn starts this month of October at 20 Aquarius, still retrograde, and Saturn ends his retrograde on the 15th of November at 18 Aquarius. So what we have to realise is that if we fail to honour our personal and completely individual Saturn spiritual demand during his retrograde period, we do that at our peril and loss and disadvantage. We do need to learn deeper and deeper what Saturn's karmic demand is for each of us in this lifetime, and indeed learning that can be a lifetime's work or longer. As a special extra point to do with October, do also note that Saturn is quincunx the Sun October the 5th to the 8th. So be prepared, watch out for feeling restricted and frustrated. Know that it's to be expected, don't let it win. Okay, point number 5, Venus in October. Well, Venus is strong in Libra, the sign that Venus rules at the start of October. On the 1st of October, Venus is at 15 degrees Libra. Now, Venus is so strong in the sign of Libra, and Venus also rules Taurus, where your revolution opening is simmering, boiling and growing. Venus in Libra is in top dignity in the Shodasha Vargas analysis at this time. Secondly, Venus enters the next sign, Scorpio, on the 13th of October, ending October at 22 Scorpio. Now you've got to realise that Venus in Scorpio is a totally different kettle of fish compared to Venus in Libra. Aggression and selfishness may need curbing. The love connection needs special care and nurturing. However, a very special factor to be aware of is that Jupiter and Uranus over in Taurus are opposition Venus in Scorpio. So we do actually have the chance, if we know about this, in the second half of October, to elevate our expression of Venus by consciously referring to Uranus's revolutionary energies, bring revolution to the way you express love, and to Jupiter's blessing, sense of purpose, divine connection, luck and wealth. You've been advised. Point number 6, Mercury in October. Well, Mercury starts October at 15 Virgo, and of course Virgo is one of the two signs that Mercury rules, Virgo and Gemini. Mercury, however, enters Libra, which is ruled by Venus, on the 10th of October, and Mercury goes on to enter Scorpio on the 30th of October. So Mercury is actually joining Venus in Scorpio on the 30th of October. And the moon enters Scorpio on the 2nd of November. And Scorpio receives aspects from planets in Pisces and Taurus. So for this Scorpio pile-up, watch out. Now going back to the start of the month of October, note that 15 degrees Virgo, where Mercury is actually the degree where Mercury is exalted in the showing and manifestation of its energies. But then it gets caught up in an eclipse next day, so we have exalted Mercury in the eclipse. And indeed, with K2 South Node in a 3-degree conjunction, so watch out for my video and blog on the 2nd of October eclipse. So the really important thing is use this period to sharpen your intellect, to improve your communication skills consciously. Mercury and Sun can work together in Virgo if we're aware. And at this time, create space for visionary thoughts and insights. I use shamanic journeying and tarot, for example. And, bring in vision and insight right from the beginning of October. And hopefully you were doing it in the months running up. But the negative side of Virgo is that it's too critical. Mercury is too critical. But the positive side of Virgo is it's about purifying and healing. So make this month of October a time for deep thought. May your expression be powerful and creative. By the way, please make a note. Mars is square Mercury October the 4th to the 9th, exact on October the 6th. So watch out for impatience, even violent, irritable speech. Be prepared for that coming out. Handle it lovingly with awareness. Point number 7, Mars in October. Well, Mars starts October at 20 Gemini, ruled by Mercury. So we have a Mars-Mercury combination here. Impatient, even violent speech, obsessive thoughts. Now Mars goes forward and enters the next sign, Cancer, on the 20th of October, ending October at 4 Cancer. But Cancer, it's important to realise, is the sign of Mars debility. So please do watch out for irritable speech and avoid being passive-aggressive and niggling. Do note that Mars is transiting and then retrograding Cancer and Gemini and then Cancer again for such a very long time, until the 7th of June 2025, so please do be aware of this. And note also that from the 20th of October, Rahu, the North Node, casts a trine aspect from Pisces on Mars in Cancer. Be aware that from the 20th of October, this could give to Mars passive-aggressive debility, so watch out for that. And Rahu can bring in deceptive or underhand tendencies. And we want to be true in our expression of ourselves, not deceptive or underhand. Very importantly, note also that from its entry into Cancer on the 20th of October, Mars opposes Pluto, where Pluto's retrograde at 5 Capricorn. My goodness. Mars opposition Pluto. The opposition becomes exact when Mars reaches 5 Cancer on the 2nd of November. Now the Mars-Pluto combination principle is superhuman power, negatively force, brutality. So make sure to use your connection to Mars-Pluto with awareness and highest spiritual potential. The Mars-Pluto combination can give each of us extraordinary force and vigour if we're aware and, do the necessary, contemplation work or whatever approach you use. So that way, Mars-Pluto can actually give you great self-confidence. But beware obsession, working without break, great ambition that's too much. But if managed well by you, Mars-Pluto can give you the attainment of success through excessive effort. But each of us needs to beware experiencing violent incidents. Okay, point number 8, the Sun in October. Sun is in Virgo on October the 1st to the 16th. Sun starts October at 14 degrees Virgo and enters Libra on the 17th of October. Now it's important to realise that Libra is the sign of Sun's debilitation and weakness. The Sun does least well in Libra. And in fact, Sun ends October at 14 degrees Libra. So if you feel that energy taking over or creeping into you, be aware of the need to buck yourself up. Avoid going into weakness from the 17th of October when Sun's in Libra. And also beware and manage any low vitality. Point number 9, Pluto goes direct. So Pluto's retrograde up to the 12th of October. And be consciously aware of Pluto's retrograde period. Monitor to what degree you are standing and expressing yourself in your proper power. Do growth work to contact the properly powerful you. Now Pluto changes and goes direct at 5 degrees Capricorn on the 12th of October. So most importantly, continue to do the conscious work to now stand and benefit from your proper power. And of course, this ties into the Pluto return of the United States. So to get a reading from me, go to my Star Wheel Astrology website and see the healings offered worldwide by my wife, Maggie Pashley. The links are all in the YouTube presentation, and they're also at the end of the blog post. So her website is www.maggiepashley.com. If it applies to you, do see my wonderful worldwide dating site for those on a spiritual pathway. Go to lovestardating.com. And in fact, watch out for some video and blog posts coming out this month from healers and astrologers working on the Love Star Dating site. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. It's called Michael Conneely. And do subscribe to my Star Wheel Astrology blog. And join our Star Wheel Astrology Facebook page. So I do hope this detailed summary of the very different energies is useful, and you can refer to it as the month unfolds. So we won't get trapped by the weakening or destructive energies. So we will embrace the wonderful, empowering, revolutionary energies. And you can get a reading from me about how they apply to you and the techniques I would use, and I would, maybe different techniques I would suggest for you and discuss with you. Thanks very much, and all the very best for October 2024.